One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back. Have you ever been headed to a new venue and you wondered, like, where's the best place to eat around there? Or am I going to get busted trying to take something through security?
Every time I go to a show.
about
Every
you, Mel?
time.
Heck yeah, I want to know what's going on around me so I can make some plans.
Where is the best sound in said new venue? Well, there is a new site that has you covered. It's called VenueLlama.com, and it is an online resource that provides live music fans the insider venue info they need. And this is super cool. It's like Yelp, but for venues and for heads, right? So VenueLlama.com launches in late spring, but they're currently doing a sneak preview for No Simple Road listeners. Head over to VenueLlama.com to sign up for your free Llama account to start rating and sharing your insider venue info today. Llamas can also list their favorite scene-friendly businesses, websites, or podcasts on the VL Friends page. Apple, did you have some witty retort, input, or
No, I always
otherwise?
just like to add too, because I love it. They have a cool, Venue Llama has a cool YouTube channel that puts up all kinds of classic performances and stuff. They're doing a lot. Go check out the YouTube as well.
Yep. Head over to check out the exclusive beta version of Venue Llama today at VenueLlama.com/NSR. That's VenueLlama.com/NSR.
Oh.
Venue Llama.
Every year that we do the show, I'm so much more grateful that Shop Tour Bus has been our sponsor.
Gotta
Truly.
love them.
They're amazing. Why? Because they constantly outdo themselves with their Grateful Dead inspired merch. Talking about t-shirts, hoodies. I think they had like canvas bags.
They just restocked trucker hats.
They restocked trucker hats, and they also did the organic powder dyed spiral colored tees.
Spit that out. Say that 10 times fast.
I mean, that was pretty good. Sound to cover bound. Sorry.
Sound to cover. That
bound
too.
to cover just a little more ground. That's so cute.
I'm going to take it back old school and
Okay.
just remind everybody out there that when you order something from Shop Tour Bus, it's not coming in some stupid Mylar bag.
Nope.
It is coming in an all-over print, one-of-a-kind box with one of their amazing designs on it, and it's coming with all kinds of extras in the box, and some of you are getting a Grateful Dead Miracle cassette tape bootleg in your order. These
Possible.
are the most comfortable, softest, and most amazing dope tees you will ever find on any lot, virtual or otherwise, ever, anywhere.
And their hoodies as well. And when we say like act fast on this, they drop new stuff all the time. This stuff goes quickly. It is in
does.
high demand by us and everybody else. So
Yep.
go on over to @Shop Tour Bus
or shoptourbus.com online. And when you're checking out, make sure to put in the promo code
No Simple Road.
all one word.
That's
so
right.
that you get the free shipping that you are entitled to as a member of the No Simple Road family.
That's
Go to
right.
shoptourbus.com, put in the promo code No Simple Road, all one word. The Grateful Dead family is known for creating amazing music, creating amazing DIY clothing, all kinds of artwork and other amazing shit. But did you know that in Portland and Denver and soon Bend, the Grateful Dead family is cooking up the best chicken wings, chicken sandwiches, salads, vegan stuff,
Desserts.
the best in the biz.
I'd say we did know that, but if you don't know that, you better get on over to one of those locations and try that stuff. I mean, they have something for everybody. They have vegan stuff. They got the kids menu.
Fire on the Mountain Brewing, Fire on the Mountain Wings. This is the Grateful Dead family at its best, cooking up and brewing up the best food and drink in the Portland area and the Denver area right now.
Now that you know about all the awesome food, they also have really cool merch. They have their sauces, and they also have their new Silly Pint cups that they can be ordered on portlandwings.com.
Yeah.
So don't feel like you're missing out.
You are not missing out. You can go to portlandwings.com, and you can also go to FOTM PDX and FOTM Denver and check out everything that's going on at Fire on the Mountain. The Grateful Dead family is hooking it up and cooking it up. Go check it out. It is finally festival season. It's time to get back out there and start shaking those bones, and no better way to do that than to head down to Ventura, California, April 19th through the 23rd for Skull and Roses. 5 days on the beach with the greatest Grateful Dead music on the planet being played by Phil Lesh and friends, O'Teal, Terrapin, fuck, no, that's not right. Help me
Melvin
out.
Seals,
Thank you.
JGB. I was just waiting for you to stop talking so I could. You got to stop bumbling. But yeah, we're going to have Circles Around the Sun, Boombox, The Latin Dead.
Dogs in a pile.
Stu Allen and Mars Hotel, Big Steve and the Ass Bites,
Yeah.
Cubensis.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
so you guys get the picture. Come visit us out in Ventura, sunny Ventura, California, April 19th through the 23rd, and come hang out.
Yeah, man. No Simple Road's going to be there. We're going to be podcasting. We're going to be hanging out with the Grateful Dead family. There's a new, bigger shakedown this year and a different layout. If you were there last year, you are going to be surprised when you walk in this year. It's going to be something special.
So come catch that California vibe down on the beach in Ventura, California.
Go to skullandroses.com. Passes are available now. You can get single day passes, VIP, the whole thing. You know the drill. Skullandroses.com.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like O'Teal Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongssummercamp.com www.sad, SONGS, summercamp.com/simple. Check it out. Episode is going to have a portrait now?
Well, not every episode, only our interview episodes.
Okay, every interview episode is going to have a portrait now?
I'm going to try.
I say most of them do, don't they?
Well, yeah, I'm saying try because sometimes it happens where, like, if we're out and about or something like
right.
that. Right.
Hey, No Simple Road family, we're back.
This is Mel.
It's Apple.
And Aaron. Yeah,
I think
now you know who we are.
I think it's becoming expected. Like if I came on the show and you didn't do my sketch, I'd feel.
But I don't show anybody. The only Matthew got lucky because he's OG and he's a Chandonator and the whole thing.
You Latin Dead.
I did do Latin Dead
and Natalie Cressman.
Well, that was on you. You exposed Natalie.
It has now become a thing.
Yeah.
So, do you think that like over time, now that you're focusing on doing that you're going to be like an amazing portrait person?
No, I don't.
In another 300 episodes?
I don't expect that. If that happens, then hell yeah.
We'll be starting an interview and Mel will have like an easel like Bob Ross. That's for you, Corey.
I'd feel kind of bummed though if she like was doing perfect portraits.
No.
That's what's so cool about what she does.
I only have like the 2D perspective. I can't like.
I think we could actually like turn this into a thing. If you out there want Mel to draw a portrait of you,
no, no, that's not how it works.
Dope.
It happens because I'm inspired by the conversation and like.
You can't force it.
No, and also we've been able to. No, you can't. Also, like we are looking at this person for 60 minutes, basically.
Yeah,
or longer. Right. So I get to
that's true. I didn't think that you have a captive audience. You're looking at them the whole time, and they're not really moving.
And at first, like the whole thing started. Everybody, if you don't know what we're talking about, because it was in the middle of the conversation, over the years of. No Simple Road, and it hasn't been every year, but over the years of No Simple Road, it started off with me just taking notes because I wasn't familiar with who we were talking to a lot of the time, and I needed to remember the names that we were talking to, and like little trademarks like their album or stuff like that. So it started out
It was notes to help you with the interview.
Yeah, like just personally for me. So that's why it wasn't even a thing. But then as it started to get, further in the show, I got a little bit more creative and started to not only write down things that I needed to know, but start to write down things that they were saying and was like, holy shit, I want to remember that for later. And then I would start doing that. And then it evolved into, I'll do a little stick figure. And then, or they say something about their cat and I'd make a cat or something. Or
band references. Say like when we ask, what are you listening to?
Yes.
We're always looking at Mel like did you
writing that down?
Did you write that down?
Yes.
Because we know we're not going to remember.
And now it's become a viral internet sensation.
No, it's not viral. Not even in the least. But it is super fun and potential. I enjoy it because I never really thought of myself as as an artist, more note taker.
Hey,
I just have to say the one that Aaron posted, the Natalie Cressman one. I mean, that is the most lifelike portrait I've ever seen of Trey. It's mind blowing.
I didn't get his glasses. I didn't even get his little stubble.
His arm is my favorite. The curly arm.
Oh my gosh.
His arm has no bones in it.
But yeah, and then after I finished my first book, I was like really bummed that I finished it because I wanted to keep seeing those images. But now I've grown really fond of this one, and
now you're gonna finish it up.
I look through and I'm like like Dean Del Rey. I love.
Do you have a lot of empty pages left?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's like half the book.
Okay,
it's half.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So
A little more than half.
Welcome back
Welcome back
to the No Simple Road Weekly Rewind Volume 24.
Woo,
24.
booyah.
2 dozen.
Brought to you in collaboration with the Edible Beats out of
Edible Beats.
Denver, Colorado. They are grooving into the world of food and connection and togetherness and music and family and ownership and love and people
And
Yeah.
change.
and No Simple Road.
And it's popping up more in our lives too. I think we all got super excited yesterday when we were talking to Matthew
From Perpetual Groove?
From Perpetual Grooves, because I saw that's their next upcoming dates was playing Ophelia's Soapbox in Denver.
Ophelia's Electric Soapbox.
Electric Soapbox.
And then I had my friend, she has sang on that stage at Ophelia's.
Cat.
Yeah, Kat. I was talking to her about Ophelia's, and she was like, "Oh my God, I've actually performed on that stage with an Allman Brother tribute band."
Oh, that's cool. She's a singer?
Yeah. Well, she tries to not say she's a singer, but she's a singer.
If you
Like
performed
most
with an Allman
modest
Brothers
people.
tribute band, you're a singer. Unless you're a guitarist.
It was a really cool story too. I'll let her tell it sometime, but it was a super cool thing that she secretly did from her dad. It was like one of her dad's favorite bands, and
Oh,
we
that's
got to see
okay.
it before
That's
he passed away, and it's cool.
That's
So,
right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go check out the Edible Beats. Just Google it. They have an amazing zine that they put out, amazing restaurants, and what they are doing for the community, the world, and for No Simple Road is unparalleled. So we are super stoked to be producing the Weekly Rewind in collaboration with them. And let's
Well, and I wanted to just say thank you to everybody who, one, continuously lets us know that they are enjoying these episodes. And two, thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers, because I feel more now than ever that it's been a community. And
Yeah.
you guys always were a
Oh, yeah.
community. I just feel like we joined it.
we joined our own
We
community.
joined our own community, and I just want to say thank you for being patient, hanging in there with us, and I just appreciate y'all.
And if you're not part of our Patreon group,
You're still part of our
donators,
family.
You're missing out on stuff like learning about pendulums. If Mel could teach you about pendulums, it's in her Side Road episode, all about that. Or who's Hank? I don't know. You got to join Patreon and listen to Mel's Side Road. Or what was a prank that happened to me when I was a kid that my sister told me I was going to die? She thought it was hilarious. What happened? You don't know because you aren't on Patreon. So go to patreon.com/no
Simple road.
and sign up for a little as $1 a month. If you sign up for $5, you actually get something extra. You get
Our Discord.
Access to
Thank
the
you.
Discord server.
my mind just went completely.
Right.
If
I was proud of you. You remembered our name, though.
if my mind was a TV right then, it would have went boop, just like that, or
I would have to come over and bang on the side
Yeah.
of you.
or adjust the rabbit ears with the tin foil. Yeah.
Oh my god.
knew where I
Also,
was
this
going
has
with that.
nothing to do with anything
This
at
is
all.
apropos of nothing.
However, I bought these new fountain pens when I was in Seattle
Right on, Mel.
a week ago, and I cannot explain how fucking happy they make me.
So just a simple
So
bolígrafo.
Un bolígrafo, sí, con todos los colores y I don't know how to say un pinta? No, point.
Oh, okay. Those are like the
With
fancy,
one
like
little-
calligraphy.
Yeah, they're okay. They're
calligraphy
fountain
kinda.
pens made by Oly, Ooly,
Non-spawn.
and yeah, definitely a non-spawn. But if they want to sponsor us, I will sponsor the shit out of them.
Send me pins.
But oh my god, like it elevated my
Journal
note-taking game. I've always wanted colors, but I'm like, I don't want to be like bringing out markers and crayons. This has made me really happy, so I'm just letting you know.
I'm glad that you're
yeah.
happy.
$22. That's all it took.
All right.
I say that's pretty
easy.
awesome when something like well, it's not simple, but something as simple as a dope pen can make you
I mean, look
write
at
better
look at
and
this.
feel better.
That,
And
compared to, I'm showing the guys Matthew from Perpetual Grooves, and then I'll show you the very first one.
Oh yeah, it's a different ball game completely.
Oh, yeah.
Completely
Before
different.
and after Uli. You
Yeah.
need to put that on your Instagram.
Stands out more.
Yeah.
The new,
And even these are okay, but it still gets hidden.
Phil Hanley's. Love it. So I want to start off this week's weekly rewind. I don't know why that's hard for me to say, but it is.
This week's weekly rewind.
I want to start it off with checking in with Apple.
Yeah.
Because, Apple had surgery and
first of all, you're checking. First of all, I wanted to say too, we all do a big heartfelt thanks to Joel.
Oh,
And to Sarah.
Joel.
Thank you,
Joel
Sarah.
dropped by earlier this week and came.
Sweetie Pete's.
Got a nice big hug from Joel. And Sarah had made this delicious lemon blueberry cake.
Okay.
Was
Sarah,
just
that
so
cake
good.
was
But
out of this world.
Aaron said, what did you say? I want to live in whatever the topping is
Yep.
on this.
I want
Bathe in
to
it.
make my home in that. People, you just don't understand. Like having friends like that here, and they're listeners of the show, but they're also friends, and it's like,
Chan Donator.
man, that's
Whole
the
nine.
salt of the earth kind of people, and I don't know what it is about a baked good.
It's
That is like the sweet, like, and I don't mean like taste, like the sweetest thing. You
It's
could bring somebody a card and they're like, oh, thanks, man. Or like you bring them a card and a coffee cup and a flower. Oh, that's sweet. But if you bring somebody muffins
that you baked
or
yourself.
cookies or a cake.
But this is the special
What?
part. They saved the blueberries from our boat trip in their freezer
From
for the
last summer.
perfect time to make us this lemon loaf cake. That's forethought. That's premeditation. That is, I'm going to be sweet later on. And
I'm post-sweeting you.
we're all like so grateful for that.
And
Thank
then
you,
that
Sarah
has-
and Joel.
Joel was like, I hope you can have some apple. That was the only sweet treat I've
We
had
didn't give them any.
in the last 10 days. Now I cut
It lasted
off
a really long time,
Yeah,
actually.
I cut off a few. I'd do like a half a chunk and then come back and get the other half a little while later. I ate a few pieces. I wish I could have eaten the whole
Oh
thing.
my gosh. But yeah, I don't know what it is about a baked good that, like, you know how they say a picture is worth 1,000 words? A baked good is worth 10,000. Like,
Yeah, and like,
At least
like
in my
10,000
heart.
feelings.
yeah,
Like,
it's really, really cool, man.
Well, I just want to say one more thank you then. If we're saying thank yous.
Yeah, we love thanking people.
Thank you so much to Ben and Tiffany for coming over a couple weeks ago and bringing dinner so we could make it and all eat together and spend the evening together.
Best salad I've had in my life ever,
we are
period.
still talking about that
with the
salad, Tiffany.
microgreens.
Yep.
The fresh homemade microgreens, all these incredible ingredients cut up perfect, diced to perfection. It was such a sweet gesture and so thoughtful, and what a beautiful night talking to Ben and Tiffany about just life.
And they brought baked goods.
They did. They brought brownies, 2 different kinds.
And then
Man.
this is my last thank you. The day before they came over, we got invited to Jordan and Jamie's home for a beautifully, incredibly, delectably delightful meal. It was so good.
Oh,
We didn't bring baked goods.
Did you have some for that recipe for that sauce he made
No,
for the
man.
steak? Yeah.
Not yet.
So I just want to say thank you to the No Simple Road family
so-
for like really like stepping up and being so sweet. And like, you all know that we love to host. We love having people at the house, but when that's reciprocated or that's, people do that for us or show us love in that kind of way, it like stops us in our tracks. You know?
What, at the center of all of that, all those thank yous that you just said is food.
Yeah.
And that's like the hinge point on all of that is food bringing all of us together. And that's a trip, first of all, that something that we need to do to stay alive, right? We have to eat, is something that is such a powerful tool for creating community and family. Think about like what it means to sit down to have like a Sunday family dinner with your family or your found family even, or your crew or your people, or even eating food together on lot is a thing. Like it's such
like
a
the whole thing we always say we break bread together and stuff, and like the bands we've had come stay here, to sit down and get to eat with everybody at the table is very special.
Yeah, it's think about that. What a weird.
Well, it's not weird.
It's a strange mechanism. Yeah,
everybody's got to do it, so it's not that weird.
But okay, everybody's got to do it, but we don't all gather around the toilet. We don't all gather around the shower or
those
shoes.
Are private things.
But, okay, but those are all things that we all have to do. It's
the thing I love about it too is it's one of the few moments. Well, you just mentioned one, like a shower is another time that we shut everything off. But like when we sit down at dinner, there's no phones on. Like all the attention goes to the company that you have at that table. And there's no distractions. That's one of those things. It's like being at a concert. You're in the moment. Mm-hmm. It's like all right, we're playing the dining room. Everybody come grab a seat, and we're going to do this together.
And the food becomes the music.
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
And it's so fun when people, because everybody wants to bring something. Usually, when everybody gets together and brings their own favorite,
like a jam session.
Yeah. Everybody brings their own certain flavor they want to contribute to it. And I almost forgot another thank you to Audrey.
Oh,
she came over to get a treatment from Mel, and I was so happy to see her. She brought me this huge bouquet of flowers with a telescoping back scratcher, a little back massager.
It's a butt scratcher.
A pinwheel, little fish.
And gorgeous bouquet.
Yeah, gorgeous bouquet. All those lilies popped open now and look beautiful. And I started bawling as soon as she came.
You started bawling like she didn't even give it to you yet. And you were already crying.
Hi, Audrey.
I looked at Audrey and Mel both. I was like, "You're two moms. Like I need the mom love right now." And yeah, that's my Malala mom.
That's really, really cool, man.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, brother?
Today's kind of rough. I'm 10 days post-surgery and have had really good days. Today was not a bad day I'm at that 10 days, so I'm kind of pushing my boundaries a little. Today's the first day I was like, you know what? I need to go to Rite Aid in the tobacco store. I'm gonna get dressed and I'm gonna go do that. It's only 5 miles away to go there and get back. And first off, I realized as soon as I got dressed to put Levi's on, like I can't wear Levi's yet. It's just
it's too restricting.
Yeah. I put them on and was like, oh hell no. So then I put on my pajama pants, which I'm weird like that. I don't like wearing pajama pants like out in public. And then I realized, like, where we live in Portland, half the population wears pajama pants everywhere.
Yeah, all the time, not because they had surgery.
Yeah, so that was kind of a breakthrough. I was like, oh, I could do this whenever I want.
I could wear my jammies outside.
Yeah, and it's comfortable, except for you got to really watch your wallet with little pockets.
That's true. Yeah, they ain't made for that.
So, but I'm doing better. Every day is kind of, it's like, reminds me of What About Bob? Baby steps. Little baby steps every day, pushing yourself a little. Another piece of advice I learned the hard way: if you're going to walk on the treadmill, don't wear a diaper. That'll lead to diaper rash. So I've been trying to do a little bit on the treadmill. Just trying to.
Hey, for all of you out there, if you didn't already know that, just hipping you up. Sound advice. Sound advice from Unky Apple.
Yeah, and I'm getting back to I'm not even going to say normal diet because I don't want to return to the diet I had before because I've been eating so good for 10 days. I'm really noticing everything I put in my body. Like Mel pointed out last week to me, she's like, when you eat, you should feel good afterwards. You shouldn't feel tired, and so, like, which is true. When you eat, it's like eating salads and oatmeal, peanut butter and oatmeal, and stuff like that, and apples. It all makes you feel good. And last night was the grand pleasure ever. Aaron made a shepherd's pie with really good ground beef and veggies in it, and it was really good. But I felt the red meat kind of not bad in any way, but I felt the difference. I ate that and was like, I just want to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. That's comfort food.
Yeah.
That's why they call it that.
Yeah. You have that at night and it kind of puts you to.
Yeah, you ain't eating that in the morning and going to go do a nice hard day's work on the farm.
Actually, I did have it this morning and I did a hard day's work.
Oh, you did?
I had my lunch is at 10.
Oh my gosh.
So,
okay.
And then I busted my ass the rest of the day.
Okay, except Mel.
Yeah, Mel's an anomaly when it comes to certain things. Like it's
You're a quasar, Mel.
Yeah, so I'm doing better every day, and again, thank you to everybody. I said it last week. Just the continuous outpouring of good vibes and love and everything. I just appreciate it so much, and I'm getting better.
Okay, I'm glad, man.
It's very positive of you, Apple.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry that it took surgery to like make you see this shit that you're seeing, but I'm glad that it happened.
Well, and I can just from stories from a few people I know, and like the blog, there's blogs for everything. Like I looked at a few things of people talking about the recovery from this and stuff, and like I think you said it to me a couple of weeks. I think it was before the surgery. Me and Mel were talking, and it's like, just imagine. I don't know how much this has been holding me, but I've been dealing with this since before we moved up here.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I started having hemorrhoid issues back in Vegas, but it was like every 6-8 months. And then we came up here, and then I got it pretty under control, and then they got out of control again. And it was having to go get injections or bandings like every 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and that's when the doctor was finally like, okay, this is just going to continue on. You're going to be in pain. Let's fix this. You need to go in for the surgery. And that's what I've heard from several people. It's like I got my life back. Like the one of our Chandonators was Kelly that last week shared. It's once you get through it, they're like, then you get your life back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't wait to get, I can feel it already.
But do you even know what you lost?
That's what I'm saying. I don't really know yet. I know it limited me a lot because it was something I didn't say a lot. There are a lot of times it shows jamming.
That's what you said the other day.
Being hot, and then all of a sudden it'd just be like pain or blood. All of a sudden I feel like, oh shit.
I remember like we'd party or something, and then you and I would meet up in the morning for coffee on the porch, and we always check in with each other first thing after we party. That you know, I'm like, hey, how's it going, brother? How you feeling? And you'd be like, I'm wrecked. I am wrecked back there. And to me, like it didn't really click. I'll be honest. Like I didn't realize the severity.
Yeah, you used to be a little judgmental.
Not judgmental. I just didn't realize that
or not understanding.
That it was that bad. I thought it was just like.
And me and Aaron have talked about this many times. We've known each other our whole lives. We both have ridden that same boat. We paddled the hell out of that boat, out of the sympathy boat.
Oh, yeah.
We're using shit to get out of stuff and everything. And I used to be that person in Vegas too. But like for good examples, like right when we started this and everything, I'm severely discomforted. I'm not really in pain, but we sat down and Aaron gave me the option. He's like, bro, if you're not feeling it, me and Mel can do this. It's like, oh God, no, this is one of the things I really look forward to right now. It's therapy. I feel better sitting here doing this right now, and it's going to feel good afterwards. It's like another dose of medicine.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. It is for all of us.
Because we have nothing wrong with us, but after we record, I always feel elevated.
You always feel better. Yeah. And then like I couldn't fall asleep earlier. I just laid down for like an hour because I just needed to get off my feet and my butt and relax.
Get off your butt.
I did. I went in, I set my alarm for an hour. I knew I was going to fall asleep. And then again today, awesome people. Bryce, we hadn't seen Bryce in a while. Bryce comes over to visit, and
love you, Bryce.
Dude,
Bryce is a freaking minch.
Hell yeah, man!
He mentioned it months ago. He brought over when Billy Strings played up here. They had a poster for each of the 2 nights, and the second night I missed out on getting the second one of the set. He came over today and brought me the second one. Because he said, he's like, bro, I got so many posters.
Apple's like, you're going to break the set for yourself? And he was like, bro,
I have so many posters. I can't even, I have nowhere to hang them or frame them or But again, yeah, and a huge shout out to Bryce. Bryce is amazing. It was good, so good to see him today.
Hey man, this sucks that you're going through this. It sucks that you've had to go through this. But on the flip side, as much as it sucked, I think it's been one of the most positive things I've ever seen for you.
It is. I'm surprising myself. This is very transformative, and it's. I was really pissed when the surgery got postponed by a month, but everything happens for a reason. It gave me more time to be ready for it and kind of sink into it. And plus, I love the hell out of Ryder. But Ryder's not a good nurse. I was kind of nervous about him taking me when you guys were gone.
Yeah.
Because Ryder will do anything for you. But it's like, okay, I'm done. And then he's gone. And then he's doing his own thing. It just felt everything worked out right. And this is working towards me, like getting a piece of myself back.
Proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
Proud of you, brother. For real.
I was proud of myself yesterday when we interviewed Matthew. That was tough, but
you were up and down.
I was looking so
on the floor and fucking standing up, and
kneeling.
But I didn't want to miss it, and it felt so good to talk to him and everything. And that's another one, Matthew. Thank you so much for being a listener and following what we do and allowing us. We allow you in our ear holes, so it's like you do us. It was so good, like getting to know you yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. Another forever friend.
Yeah.
It's rad.
Dope. So, okay.
Matthew, you had a great smile. Loved it.
And I can't wait to show you your portrait that Mel drew you.
Well, I mean, it kind of showed him.
Oh, you did show it to him. That's right.
It's kind of a little wobbly. It's kind of hard.
Oh, yeah. You wait. Yeah, she held it up to the camera.
I wanted to talk about something, and it's actually, I had thought about talking about this prior to us walking down here today. And, the content of the conversation is actually, it fits perfect. And I wanted to talk a little bit about regret.
I've had a few.
Not one syllable.
Do you have any regrets?
To say.
Not one letter?
Regrets? Oh.
No, man. It can be really easy to tell somebody, like, don't regret your past. Just move forward. You're in the now. It doesn't matter. That's tough. That's a tough thing to wrap your head around.
It's a tough word too. People don't like to, because I know I've said it. It's like, I don't regret it. I just wish I would have done things differently.
That's called regret.
I know, exactly.
That's totally 100% the Oxford Dictionary definition of regret.
Diaper. It's an overnight.
I'm going to look it up just so that we can have a clean idea of what regret actually means. Okay, it is a verb.
Okay.
Feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or missed opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's the other thing that people say when regret is brought up or spoken about. Well, if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be where you are now.
I wouldn't be the person I am today.
That's something that we make ourselves to feel better.
Right? And this is in context to something, so just stick with me here. I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about like how you were saying to me, you're like, you're so good at doing stuff, like you know how to draw, and you could do computer stuff, and you could find a job doing basically anything. Remember, we were having a conversation the other day, and I was thinking about like why that is the way it is. And it's because I was a fuck up when I was younger. Like a Olympic gold medal winning fuck up. And that's from like getting fired.
Me and Aaron were in strong competition for that gold medal.
Yeah.
Fucking through our early days.
Getting fired, quitting after like, you have to wear a collared shirt. Fuck you, I quit.
For real.
That's a thing that happened. Just a million different situations that happened that caused me to have to learn how to do a bunch of different stuff. And I was thinking about like my addiction and what that took from me. right? And
It's hard to say.
I know what it is. It took my 20s from me. 100%. That time in my life when I should have been, or most people, blah, 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 right? Like that time in my life when I could have been figuring out who I am and where I fit and what I like to do and
schooling,
whatever.
You don't consider that figuring out?
No, there was none of that. It was like a pause button or a delete button. I had no thought of like future thought. It was day to day survival, like minute to minute, hour to hour.
Yeah.
And the thought of like getting a job to do something, or not even getting a job, like being passionate about my art or passionate about music and trying to make a go at it. Like, no, there was none of that shit. Like it didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. And that fucking sucks. And I was thinking about it the other day, like not to be the turd in the punch bowl here, but like
we're allowed to talk about stuff that's not pleasant.
It bummed me out. I was like, fuck, man. And I've never, honest to God, like let myself fully feel that.
You never let yourself feel. That's why you were an addict.
Yeah. But like now my life is great. I wouldn't change a thing. But I never let myself feel that regret of that, of like
what that did to
I
you.
missed every opportunity. Thousands of countless myriad whatevers.
Yeah, you really were you specifically were in a situation that you could have literally done anything.
The multiverse was like quite literally like holding a silver platter in front of me, and I took it and flipped it and threw it on the ground.
With a fuck you finger
With a
up.
fuck you finger, totally.
Yeah, they wanted you to wear a collared shirt for that. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I quit. I don't care what you're going to pay me. And I was trying to like come to grips with that fact.
How?
Of just like, how can I be okay with this? Was what I was in my head.
With the past?
Yeah, like, because this sucks, right? And it doesn't feel good. It also doesn't exist right now. In reality.
In thought only.
Yeah, but fuck, man, when I think about like where I was at and what I was doing, it's just a ball of regret. And like, okay, yes. Had I not done all that shit, I wouldn't have met you. Had I not done all that shit, I wouldn't have my kids.
But see, we say that, but we
always
don't
say
fucking
that. Yeah, you don't know. You still could have met.
We don't know. We lived like less than a mile from each other.
I know.
So that isn't altogether true. We don't know that would have not happened.
And I think like we were talking about Bryce a minute ago. Bryce came over today and brought the poster. That's who we were talking about. And Bryce is, I think he's 30 or maybe just turned 31, somewhere in there. And he's got a great head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Like,
He really does. I'm proud of you, Bryce.
Me too, man. And I told him that today. To have the presence of mind at 30 years old with the opportunities that he has to like, no, I'm going to pull back and hone my craft so that I can do better in the future. That thought process just didn't
occur to
me. And even to not do that didn't occur to me. It was just addiction. And
can I say something really quick? I think too, it wasn't just like straight addiction. You were in pain and soothing yourself from your childhood.
yeah, oh yeah.
So
Well, that's the
like, that's your reasoning, but like that's the why you couldn't do all those other things, because you were like you Apple was talking about being inflamed. You were inflamed, and so you were doing anything you could to kind of like quell that fire. So that was all like, that's why it was so all encompassing, because that fire was so huge that you were trying to minute by minute, hour by hour, tamp it down. Mm-hmm. And so there's no space for anything else when you're focused on survival.
Yeah. But like I said, I was trying to like, okay, you know, you're where you're at now. Your life is good. You've got Mel and the show and friends and kids and Apple and like Darwin, and life is good. So why allow that to even be in my space? Do you was the thought that was in my head?
Yeah, I have a good answer for that.
Well, and the conclusion I came to was I never let myself do it. I never dealt with it. Like it was oh well, move on. That's done now. And it fucking sucks, man. And it pisses me off now. And I'm saying it for real. Like, I fucking cheated myself. And I'm talented at shit. And I could have fucking, like, who knows? Well, if I would have had my shit together, what I could have did. Like,
what is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
And that, we were watching that David Geffen thing, and they were like, he just wasn't going to take no for an answer. Like, that guy was going to, that's how I feel now. Because of that. I'm like, no.
Well, no. I also feel like No Simple Road is not what it's gonna end up being. Mm-mm. I feel like we're like, if we're watching a movie, this is like the first 35 minutes of the movie, and it's like a 4-hour movie. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I feel like No Simple Road is right now. And you haven't, I feel like if anything, it was postponed. It wasn't taken away. Because, and I'll say this for me, I could say that I regret being a young mom. Who knows what I would have done and what I could have achieved and all that stuff. But that's the one thing I really don't regret, is being a young mom, because that shaped me in such a way that it made me realize my talents. It made me it gave a focus to somebody who was completely aimless. I didn't have my mom like on my corner saying, you can do this, that, the other. It was just like a lot of adversity in everywhere that I looked. There was a
lot of hurdles in the way.
Yeah. So being an early mom gave me a focus so that I can actually be a good person and a good mom. And then I can like build on that.
Right.
You know, so I think that for you, in your case, like, it does fucking suck. Who knows what, like you said, who knows what you could have been. But really, I don't know that the opportunity was taken away. I feel like it was just put away for later, because now you're strong enough in heart, mind, and spirit to actually achieve that and be like, I'm not fucking taking no for an answer. Mm-hmm. And now I know how to fucking build a website, fucking edit your show, make a graphic, fucking
play guitar,
sing, fucking
all these
be
things.
The bomb ass husband. I'm a freaking great grandpa. Like,
I realized too that, like, thank you for all of that.
But I'm just saying it's true. Not to, I'll blow smoke up your ass any day, but that's just true right now.
I realized too, like, talking about it, that regret and not having talked about it is what held me back with a lot of shit. Like, with playing guitar is a great example of that. Like, I would pick up the guitar and play and feel regret that I never had the opportunity to pursue it the way I wanted to, and would be like, well,
instead of picking it up and progressing and doing
instead of pushing past that, fuck.
Okay, that sucks.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And with a lot of stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I won't get too deep into it, but like there's so much stuff about your past that we've never talked about, and vice versa with me. Like
what?
A lot of stuff. We've never talked about old relationships. Right? Like, come on. We've never talked about that. Old girlfriends, none of that stuff. And we've never talked about specific things like, okay, you were a junkie. That's just like the tagline. There's never been any like really instances or conversation about specific times. I know maybe a couple stories and that's it. Like when you were in Ohio, don't really know anything about that. Like there's a lot of your past that I don't even know anything about, and mine of yours, just because we've never.
And you want to know the truth? There's a lot of
it.
my past that I don't even know about.
That's probably true. Yeah,
I'm not being silly. I'm dead fucking serious. Like,
yeah, that's what happens with that.
There's a lot of that that's just like, it's like generic time in my life, if that makes any sense. Like I lived at that time. There was no like, I wasn't thriving. There was no like descriptor for that time in my life. There was no like mark of thing that happened that, you know, it's just like I was living in a fucking hotel.
I know you do too. My 20s, like you said, it is the hardest timeline of my life to piece together and remember where I was and what I did, and because of drug abuse, bad drugs.
Yeah, not medicine.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that shit, Apple? Have you ever dealt with your regret in your life?
I mean, I don't know. Now that you bring it up, because I'm in the same boat as you, which is weird because that's when we weren't not friends. We were just in different locales. Like I'd moved to California.
Right.
We don't know much about each other's lives during that period. I know I left Vegas, and then the next thing I know, you'd met Mel. Like there was good news to.
Yeah, but what led up to that
was a lot of stuff and everything, and then same here. Like there's a big period there, and a lot of it. I mean, I know it definitely stunted me a lot as far as everything. Fucking same thing, like potential. I could have done a lot of things. My dad would have paid for me to go to school. You both talked about, because we know a lot of people have gone through the military that, you know, it's like, fuck that, you know, if I could do that over again, you know, you get that backing where you can get grants and stuff for housing, all kinds of stuff, you know, different things. I think about that. My dad, you know, I wish I would have pushed you more to go to school and stuff. And it's funny with regret how it always ends up coming back to that. Well, you wouldn't be well, how do you fucking know? Nobody fucking knows. Maybe you'd
be fucking better.
Yeah, you could be in the same spot even better, or you could be exactly the same and you didn't have regrets.
Yeah, we don't know what the multiverse.
I know years of meth abuse. Mine was mainly meth, not that much heroin. It fucked me up, like sexually, fucking mentally, everything for fucking years. Which has ripples and effects to this day. I mean, as far as regret, I mean, yeah, that's about. I mean, that is the biggest thing I would say that you brought up was the drug abuse. If I could go back and remove one thing, it would be the shit drugs, the fucking cocaine, the heroin, the meth, because that shit's not medicine.
Or, well, not medicine the way we were using it anyway.
Well, I mean, opiates can be medicine. Cocaine can be used for numbing
Right.
things and stuff.
You get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah, but yeah, I've never known any of those addicts to produce anything good out of those habits. Like, oh man, if it wasn't for that cocaine addiction, okay,
Aerosmith's pretty good. They're all right,
and I'm sure they've dealt with their regrets and stuff, right?
And
then I mean, stupid little things like I remember like dumb little things. Like I remember breaking one of my sister's figurines that she loved. You know, mine goes to little things like that as like, I shouldn't have done that. She loved that and I broke that. But you know, that was dealt with.
Yeah, I don't mean little shit like that.
Dumb
I'm talking
things.
about like,
and I know dumb things that me and you both did. Like that's the only time in my life when I was on fucking those drugs that I ever went to the pawn shop and sold my own shit. And also would steal like
I was gonna say I usually
money
went and sold other people
out
shit.
of my mom's purse or something, take a 20 or 40 here or there, and then feel bad about it immediately because that that wasn't me. And it was like, fuck, I went and sold my fucking entire CD collection to the pawn shop to get high for a couple days.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
Yeah. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And I think one of the things that makes it really difficult is like when bad shit happens to us sometimes it's not our fault. Like life happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, that was circumstance. Like that's not, but it's on us. 1,000% that shit's on us.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You can't lay that on somebody. Well, it's my mom's fault because I didn't get the love I need. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Look,
like,
dude.
because my parents got divorced. And it's like, what about these other million people who are successful and didn't do drugs whose parents got divorced and they're.
Sure, that didn't help matters, but that it's not their fault. And like owning your shit like that is hard. Like coming to grips with the fact that I have one life and I'm, more than halfway through it. And I fucked up.
Good thing it was a long time ago, though.
Yeah. It's like, that's a big, bitter pill to have to chomp down on. And think whatever that we're where we are now. Right? Like, I can't even imagine coming to this realization and not having the support system I have around me. And
you probably would have never came to this realization if you didn't have support. Because if you're always trying to cope or damp a hard feeling that you don't want to deal with, then at this stage, there's so much ease in your life that you're able to dig up some of those old skeletons and work on them. But if you were still feeling the same way, you wouldn't have the opportunity to do that because you're still trying to fucking bury the skeletons, at that point. Now you're like, what the fuck? I want a garden bed here.
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on over here? I'm pulling this up. What is this thing?
And at that same hand, I was thinking about that recently with especially these rewinds, how we talk about therapy. We're surrounded by such an awesome community that us and all of you out there have built together and stuff that I feel being older, there's not the need to be the tough guy. To be like, I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
I don't which we do, especially like putting up that wall, especially when it comes to dealing with addiction and other things like that. I'm like, I'm fine. I dealt with that shit. That's in the past.
When I think
that's not true. When you get to a spot where you're very comfortable and can be very open with who you're surrounded
your
by,
posse, whoever it is,
and then you let your own guard down inside you, and shit comes bubbling up.
I feel like if you are the kind of person that's like, I dealt with that already, I have nothing else, then you fucking didn't deal with it. If
you're getting that
it's
upset.
Still spiky when you think about something, you still have some work to do. And it doesn't mean, you didn't do anything. These extremes that we give ourselves to keep ourselves in some weird limbo state where we can't just settle the fuck down internally. It's either like, oh, I took care of it, I'm done, or I'm not dealing with that shit, dude.
That's our culture.
It's like, oh, actually, I did do some work on that, and some stuff is starting to come up again. I guess I got to soul search a little bit more, or this is just another layer to that really deep-seated problem or root issue that I had. And now I got to work on this part of it. Not that it's one and done. No, like shit happens. You start thinking about stuff. Like, again, somebody who's always making themselves like busy, they're so occupied in tasks that they don't have time to recall memories and relive good or bad times. But once you have put yourself in a place where you can actually have a little bit of, like I said earlier, a little bit of ease, you've got a schedule down, you've got support, you have the rest that you need, stuff starts to come up because your body wants to heal you. Your body is in a constant state of healing, always. So if you can put a little bit of attention on something that you kind of put some dirt over earlier, and you can put some attention on it so you can actually scoop it up and take it out. That's what we do when we have a little bit extra time.
Well,
maybe not on purpose, but it happens.
Yeah. And I don't know if everybody's like this, but my tendency is, and has been in the past anyway, is like, if it feels bad, figure out a way to make it feel better. Right? Does that make, I guess that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's certain shit that just isn't going to feel better. There's no like,
like
there's no
like
mental
somebody dying that you're not going to feel better. Time will make it not hurt so much, but you don't feel good that your mom died.
Right. There's no
you
mental
can't make a happy out of that.
gymnastics that I can do that I'm going to go, okay, cool. I'm okay now with that. Like, it doesn't exist. And getting away from the habit of instantly wanting to make that bad feeling stop and being like, okay, this sucks.
That's how we became drug addicts.
Killing that addict in you, babe. That's what, way back when you talked about like the weight thing, which was the tail end of last year, right? Ever since then, there's been more and more pieces of this addict that have been coming up in order for you to shed him completely. And it's insidious. It hides in little different ways. And like, you've been dealing with it. Things have been coming up. And what's unlike you from the previous 25 years of marriage that we had, I'll say 24, like, that's not something you did. You did not talk about past stuff to get through it. You just got over it. And that we, like, even stuff between us that we've had beef about or that we fought about, like, it's just like, okay, done. We did that and we talked about it 10 years ago and that's how it stays.
It's done.
So we don't like,
it's locked up.
Yeah.
It's under the rug.
And that's always been hard for me to deal with because I'm a talky person and like, then it stays locked in me, you know, and I don't like shit staying locked in me. I don't have a lot of space in my body for extra. I don't
got room for that shit.
I don't.
Nobody got time for that.
I feel the same way with that. You know, got the headspace for that and the emotions to deal with shit locked up, and
I can't think of.
That's why I hate lying.
Yeah, I can't think of things other than a couple things that happened in our marriage between the two of us that I regret. That's it. I was raised how I was raised, and I can't really take that back. That wasn't up to me. Like I didn't. Yeah. So I don't really.
That's not on you.
I don't regret. I can't regret that. You know, the times where I had to stop talking to my mom, that sucked. But I felt like I needed to do that also. I don't feel like that was regretful, and you know. Yeah, there's stuff I wish that didn't happen, but it's not for no simple road to talk about, and it's not something that keeps me up at night either.
Right. I think you haven't had a life filled with regrets. Period.
I pretty much do what I want.
No, you and I, we've been together since you were 19.
Yeah.
And our life has been pretty fucking dope.
I mean, yeah, even
on the whole,
on the whole, I mean, like, look, our first few years of marriage was
a dumpster fire.
Probably, if I look over the timetable of my life, it was probably like the worst years of my life.
Yeah, it was a complete
but they were also
dumpster
the
fire.
best years of my life too. Like they really were. Like
Well,
the best.
dumpster fire keep you warm.
Yeah.
And that's what made you guys so strong. It still amazes me. I reckon sometimes it amazes me that we talked about this, that fucking you put up with Aaron's shit. You came along like you Aaron's a lot.
I feel like I know
you
that's
guys
my
got
specialty.
through it and made you stronger, both of you.
My specialty is putting up with shit.
Well, yeah, I don't know, especially in the beginning, what shit was, but even Aaron was like felt like somebody that stuck by you and put up with your shit. That's part of my problem. With relationships, I have fucking very little tolerance for anything.
Why?
I don't know. I've been like that for
like
a lot.
what's the thing? Like, okay, if you're like, I'm not going to tolerate that. Like, why? Like, why wouldn't you tolerate?
Because I don't like to be told what to do or change. Like something as simple as okay, well, girl I was dating and started to stay over at the house more and taking over the bathroom, and then started getting on me. Like, you need to do this and that, and fucking, I was like, I'm done. Come in here and tell me what I got to do with my shit.
Was
fucking.
it because it wasn't worth it, or because you were being like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you'll be like, well, fuck, I don't want to do this, but I guess I will, because
no,
you know what I mean? Like sometimes if it's worth
for
it.
38 years, that did it. I know him, man. Like,
yeah, I can't explain. Yeah, and especially drama. Like I'm not a fighter. I've had 2 relationships that ended because I wouldn't fight.
yeah, but you're passive aggressive.
Yeah, you do fight.
Oh yeah, I could be. Yeah, I can be a passive. But as far as like screaming and name calling and yelling or anything like that,
you just
or the thing of like the girl where has been put in that situation, which I get like flirting with going out to the bar and flirting with other dudes to get a rise out of me. As soon as that happens, it's like, okay, you just got a rise out of me. We're done. Get your shit. Fucking leave. I'm done. You do that to me once, I ain't staying here.
I'm down with that mentality.
I ain't staying here for the rest of the show.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Right there. Yeah. But the other stuff, like that, the moment that somebody is saying, like, she's staying over more, she's got stuff in your bathroom, and she's like, yo, there's piss on the floor. Like, or you need to put up
Wipe
whatever.
up the mirror. Or
yeah, whatever. Some of us will, in that moment, ask ourselves, is this worth it? And some of us will be like, hell yeah, it is.
Well, and see, like the things you pointed out is what most people point out. My fucking shit was immaculate. That person was the mess, and it was like basically like you need to lighten up more. You need to move your shit over so I can put all my. And it's like no. That's why there's drawers.
It wasn't
and
worth
things.
it.
Yeah.
I can't tolerate. That'll be me my whole life. I can't tolerate a messy, sloppy person.
Yeah. Yeah, and
that leads to where everything else is sloppy.
You're a little OCD too.
Yeah, I am. I know that.
I've learned that living with you. It's hard, man. It's a definite it's a balancing act, I guess, to figure this shit out and to come to grips with the things that don't sit right in us, because everybody has it. I don't think there's anybody listening to the show right now that's like, when I think back through my life, I don't have one regret. And if it
that's
is,
when we started this, at first that's what I want to think, but then you start delving down. And then what about things like that? Like is it my regret? Like I regret that I'm not as close to my dad's side of the family as I used to be.
Sure.
But that was all done by them becoming ultra religious and telling me I'm going to hell.
It's still a regret that the situation isn't the way that you want it to be.
So that's would still like I regret that our family drifted apart because of them being religious zealots.
That's if we're going there, the stuff that you didn't have control over. I regret that I don't know my East Coast family. I have literally no family from the East Coast, and that's where I was born. And I have 3 aunts,
A brother.
I've got umpteen cousins, and I don't know any of them, and none of them care about me, and I don't know anything about their lives.
Yeah, that's
And then that's where I come to
So that's
with
what
stuff like
sucks.
that, where it's like one of my aunts called me like 3 weeks ago and left me a message like, well, it'd be nice if you answered the phone, but that's my aunt that several years ago told me I was going to hell for working in the cannabis industry.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm sorry, I don't have time in my life for
as
stuff
you get
like that.
older.
Yeah, as you
it's
get
less
older,
important.
it
is.
and it's been many years. Like my Uncle Larry on my dad's side, I can't remember 4 or 5 cousins. We were really close, years
cousins.
ago. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I feel like an asshole. I don't ever talk to him, but it's like, well, that whole thing, road goes 2 ways. Nobody ever reaches out to me.
Well, okay. Well, on that point, that's just being a jerk because you're displaying the same behavior that you don't like.
Yeah.
So if you want to call somebody, call them because you want to, not because, they might call. It's like giving somebody a present expecting one back. You already know their behavior.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you miss that person, so you want to talk to them.
And that's the problem with this certain situation too. I don't miss. I'm sorry, I don't miss any of them because I can't deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
When people persecute you because you don't. I don't care what belief, and I don't care if you believe that you love cheese and I don't. You're gonna hate me because it's whatever. Which is a big problem with this world is the fucking wanting to control everybody.
Cheese lovers are fucking.
It's like
it does suck. Like when you're not close to your blood family, you lose connection with your culture, and that is really hard, especially like growing up not knowing Spanish, so that kind of took me out of my culture, and then like growing away from the East Coast, so that took me away from my culture, and then becoming more Americanized, and so that takes me away from my culture. So like I'd love to feel and be more Puerto Rican, whatever that even means, to just own more of that part of myself. But I do the best I can with how I was raised. Yeah. It would be cool. Like going to Puerto Rico when we first moved here in 2016, that was a huge, turning over of a leaf that going there for Sid's birthday with my uncle, my mom, my sister, Simon,
that was really
that
cool.
was a huge, healing thing for me, and being around a culture that was familiar, yet I was estranged from.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of a weird thing. Like I feel like I belonged, but I was an outsider.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
People looked like me. They sounded like my family, but
you weren't on the inside.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And that felt super weird.
That's what you feel like when you go to the dead lot wearing one of those H&M tie-dyes.
You know what I felt like? I felt like a stranger.
Oh, shit.
Which I'd love to do that. I'd love to go to. I'm mostly Swedish. I'd love to go to Sweden someday and check it out. But it's the same thing. I don't know anything.
They
about
were so
Swedish
welcoming. I must say
culture.
this, Puerto Ricans were so welcoming. They were loving. I didn't have one negative experience on that trip. Only the fact that you weren't there, babe.
Yeah, that sucked.
But that was it. Like the everything was as good as it could have been.
So I think at the end of the day, where at least what I've come to with this is for me, because of who I am and the way that my head is crazy and whatever, I got to just feel it and own it and just be like, yeah, you did that, dude.
That's
it sucks.
the most mature thing
Eat
I've heard you
that shit.
say, baby. Like for real.
Yep. Sit down to that meal of humble pie.
Yeah. And it wasn't your whole 20s. You were 26 when we got married. And yes, those first few years. So we take you to 29, maybe. Take you to 29, maybe
It
even
was
30.
my 20s, babe. It was my 20s. All of it. And it's fine. I remember my fucking 21st birthday. I was in the Budget Suites Hotel shooting dope. It was my 20s. It's fine. It's not fine at all.
No, it's not fine.
Even a little bit, but it's okay now. And like, I just got to eat it. And what you said is, I don't know if it helps, but I feel like it's true about it being on hold and not ruined. But that guy is gone. Like,
not really.
Yeah. I am not 21.
No, you're not 21, but like, it's like, I think about it like this because, you know, we're empty nesters right now and we're in our mid years, according to whatever the fuck that is.
I don't know. Diane Keaton, 74. She's beautiful.
She looked dope.
She's on the cover of my AARP magazine.
Yeah. But so we're in our half years, midlife, whatever. When I was 26, I felt like this still.
I know. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, when do you feel like a grown up? Because I still don't feel it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was just you postponed the younger time in your life by being a dummy. And now that dummy learned a shit ton of stuff and he's got experience and maybe he can be a little bit more compassionate with this Aaron.
Yeah.
And now you've got all these skills that this Aaron has like cultivated.
There was a moment, not a couple of years, maybe 3 years after we got here, maybe 4, when I really realized that I'm never going to feel like a grown up. And there was a tree that fell across our street and Mel went to leave for work and couldn't get down the hill and she had to take an Uber to work. And it was
I
like
had to climb over this humongous tree
to get to the
Uber.
And it was like 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And I was the only one in the neighborhood, in the world right then, that knew that this tree had fallen across the road and blocked everybody in. And I was like, where's the adult coming to fix this shit? Like, somebody needs to call somebody. Like, I need a grown up. And I was like, oh shit, that's me right now. Like, I'm, holy shit. And I realized
That's
it
funny.
like that moment, dude, like for real.
Well,
for
and that's
real.
reassuring to me to know. I remember you telling me, but you said this before or anything. I always thought like you guys being married and having kids and raising kids that you had so many more answers.
Oh no.
And like you have your shit more together, which I know that's not the case. Not that you guys don't have your shit together, but you know what I mean. It's
You know what?
No, you know what? Actually,
there's
I
a
do.
reward that comes with getting older and
Yes.
realizing that you're never gonna know. I talk to my dad almost daily. He's 80 now. He got his shit together, and he knows he never will, and he admits it. Once you can admit it, then it's a lot easier.
The only thing that being married and having kids has done for Mel and I, and she's going to agree with this, is forced us to do a bunch of shit we didn't want to do.
I mean, that's not the only thing.
Do you know what I mean?
Not the only thing, but
like I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning to get my kids ready for school. I don't want to get up, but I have to.
It's also
nobody's showing up to do that but us.
It's also made us have to make up a bunch of shit that we never would have thought to do before.
That's true. That's totally
we would
true.
have never needed to or had to do certain things, but we had to make stuff up. Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I go here? And then you just make up an excuse for the kid because that's what you do.
I fucking said so.
Yeah, like, or you know, why can't I buy this thing? I make something. You just make shit up on the fly.
I remember too. Well, and then when you have kids too, like because then you got all their activity. I remember that Aaron several times. I fell for it every time too. You wrote me in to go into something.
Oh, hell
like
yeah.
I didn't mind most of the time, but like when you wrote me
going
in
to Temple,
to Temple, and I'm like really, dude?
We're just dropping them off.
I'm like bedhead, freaking. He's like, got to put on a yarmulke, this and that, and I'm like, what the fuck? You said we were just dropping them off.
We are, man. Come on in.
Yeah,
say your brachas, bro. It'll be all right. No, It really does. It forces you to do a bunch of stuff that you normally wouldn't do, right? But just because you're married and have kids doesn't mean that
it doesn't make
you're
you
a
grown up.
and you've got your shit together. Look at all the dysfunctional, broken ass folks running around.
But wait a minute, you can't. There is definitely something between a married dad than a single non-dad.
And there's a Richter scale of married dad. There's the total fuck up married dad, and the married dad that's holding it down.
I'm talking about the holding it down one. I'm talking about the holding it down spouse. Okay, the one that holds it down to the person that's never been married or never had a kid, because there is just something about how that spouse, that person, knows how to handle shit that a single person just doesn't even fathom.
Because
you can't even they can't even think in that. They don't even think that way.
Because the tree has fallen across the street every day, and there's no adult coming.
And you've had to grow up in the sense that you're a parent. Like I rely on you two for shit all the time because what Mel said is totally true. I've never completely grown up.
But do you get where I'm coming from about the tree? I'm being silly, but
no, I get
the tree has fallen across every day.
But that
there's
creates
something where you
skill.
need to step
that
up.
creates a skill, and that I wouldn't say that. I think we have our shit together. I'm not talking about in life like we're perfect. I'm talking about like we know how to fucking pay our bills on time.
Well, yes.
We don't fucking have no people like like owing people money and shit. Like we have groceries in our house like that. Sometimes people never grow out of that shit. Sometimes people are like that, period.
Yeah. I
parental or not,
a few people come to mind immediately.
Yeah.
So I think that we did figure some stuff out. Is it like,
but does that make us
measurable?
grown up?
No, because that doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah, I still feel
and it all comes down at the end of the day to your own perspective on yourself and everything.
Yeah,
I was
true.
And how you're letting these things affect you.
The other day, Mel went to go see the Shook Twins Friday night. She went to go see the Shook Twins with her friend.
They were amazing. I love the Shook Twins.
And I said,
John Craigie, shout out.
I said, I'm not going. I need a day to just like take care of myself. I'm going to stay home and take a weed bath.
That was so funny.
And if you ever want to feel, if you out there listening ever want to, you're a dude. I don't know if this goes for women. I'm only me, so I can only speak to me and men. If you ever want to feel like a little kid, go take a fucking bath, bro. Go get your hairy, weird, pink-bodied ass into the bathtub and put some bubbles in there. You are immediate. I don't care if you're 65, you got grandkids, you flew in a private jet today, you ate grapes off of fucking silver platter. You're going to feel like an 8-year-old little kid.
A bath's like a leveling tool.
Yep.
Like you just said, doesn't matter who you are, you get in a bath. And I want to pause there for a moment, talk about Aaron's bath the other night, because I hadn't even talked to Bell about this yet. He was so fucking fun. I was in bed, falling asleep, ready to fucking.
He came out just to see stoned Aaron.
It's one of my favorite things.
Me too.
Because we get high all the time, and Aaron can't. We've talked about that. Aaron can't smoke, and I get you don't want to make yourself feel bad, but he can take these weed baths. And fucking, I heard him and Darwin walking down the hallway. I stumbled out of bed to come hang out for a few minutes, and I'm like, did you take a weed? As soon as right in the mid-sentence, he's turning to look at me, and I seen his eyes. He's like, yeah, you did.
All glassed
sitting
out
on the front porch. This motherfucker was giggling so fucking hard at everything, because he's always doing the social media, looking at memes and posts. But for some reason, there was a bunch of funny ones in a row. Everyone was the funniest thing Aaron had ever heard, and he's like,
I was having a blast.
Trying to show me the photo, just cracking. I wasn't even laughing at the memes as much as his reaction and how fun and silly he was. Being stoned.
She said that to me the other day when we were driving down the freeway. She's like, I miss getting stoned together.
You guys, when Aaron and I first started getting stoned together, it was some of the funnest times in our life.
It was really fun.
It was
I miss it too,
so
man.
fun.
I do too. I
I
got excited when Mel started smoking and you guys were smoking together, and I'd come over and burn a bowl with you guys.
I miss the feeling of like,
just because of how it
wanting
changes your
to.
personality temporarily in that kind of a lighter, sillier, jovial kind of not caring kind of a thing. And felt good. It felt good to get high with you back in the day.
definitely didn't have any
And Aaron's fun to get high with. He's a silly motherfucker when he's high. The other night we were talking to, I was like, he's got probably one of the safest habits there is.
Yep.
I was like, I can't sneak a weed bath on you. Like, just take this, bro. Just take it. It's a regular bath. Just get in the tub. It's not anything. He's like,
Why is it foaming?
you can't slip it.
He's like,
in
you're not going to develop a 3 bath a day habit. Like, oh, I got to get up in the morning. I'm taking my before work bath. Oh, hang on. I want to take a bath before we eat dinner. So I'm good and stoned.
Me and Melon Ryder are like talking on the side. Like, do we need to have an interview? What do we do? Do we just take the stopper out of the tub? How do we put an end to this? This motherfucker he's just spent $300 on bath salts this week.
I have to say, I'm really proud of you, babe, because you stayed home on that Friday and it was so good. And then the next day you had a facial. We did a facial.
For a facial, yeah.
Yeah. And you've asked me for a facial before and then not reminded me or just let it slide. But you're like, hey, well, you going to go get the room ready or what? And like, I was just, again, you're so far from that person that I married and that I knew, especially within this last year. I would say you changed more in this last year than you have in the 7 years that we've been here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I sure.
I'd agree with that as far well, especially on here and stuff. You've brought up stuff that I never thought you would,
right?
Or that I never knew you needed to. Like just now, the regret thing. I didn't know that you were holding on to that, but like Mel said, that makes sense. That's kind of the junkie in you that you've had a hard time letting go of. And
sometimes I can't. I think too fast, so I can't articulate things. And I do the same thing when I write. Sometimes I'm trying to write something, so, like get it out, but I can't get it. And there was something that I wrote about you a while back, but I couldn't get it all out in my head. But I kind of recall it, and it was about letting things go and your weight and your the addiction aspect, and it all has to do with something. The more you work out that and tease that junkie out of the addict part, like I don't know that that person will ever be gone, but like looking back at him and the reasonings exactly, and like you, when you're doing those opiates, you're doing it to not feel and to soothe yourself, and because it feels good, and so you don't get sick. But everything is about feeling,
about making the bad feel good,
and that only postponed feelings. It didn't take them away because they came back.
No, it's a pause button.
Yeah, so that's why I said earlier that I feel like it didn't take away your 20s. It postponed it, but also like you postponed the healing, but maybe you did it for the most perfect time when you actually have the most support you've ever had. You've got the Codys and Joels and Corys and all of us, and like you have extra help to talk about stuff, and like there's no shame anymore. Like the cards are on the table.
No, I don't feel shame.
But there was, and that was something that had to be worked out. And so like slowly but surely it's been being chipped away at that addictive personality, and it is something that within, like I said, the last year, I feel there's been more groundwork covered than in all of your previous years.
Crazy.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I get a little, what is this? This is episode 24 of this. I think there's a lot that has happened in these 24 episodes of Side Roads.
Yeah,
and it's
Side Roads. You mean a weekly rewind?
Weekly rewind.
If you want Side Roads, you got to go to Patreon.
Weekly rewind that too. But there's been a lot that's happened through this, and we've all mentioned it. But when you out there mention it to us, our friends and community, it really rings true.
I could show you guys. several listeners have told us like, oh, the interview stuff is cool, but I really like the Monday stuff. Like we've heard that a lot lately. And
can you just
hang on?
All right.
Hang on. And the other day, I was getting our analytics together, and I looked at the last few weeks of our analytics, and the way it's shown on the computer is a graph, right? And it spikes when we drop an episode, and then it slowly goes back down over the week, and then it spikes when we drop another episode. And over the past maybe 4 weeks, it was disproportionate. The spike would be a lot bigger when we dropped an interview episode than the weekly rewind. For the past few weeks, they're even.
Hell yeah.
Like, and not because the interview ones have dropped. We've had some big names on the show that have,
but the rewind has
risen to meet it.
What do you think that's about?
They really love us.
You know what? I don't care.
What?
Yeah, I don't care.
That's not like you, babe.
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to find out.
Good.
Just let it happen.
Yeah, let shit ride.
That's when we get to be totally open and honest in ourselves and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a jumping off point for the rest of the week.
Look,
for
man,
all of us.
I've been saying this, and I'm going to say it again.
Say it again, Mel.
Say it again.
We are no simple road. Sure, who doesn't love having these incredible artists that we have had on? I do. But we're the show. If we had no artist ever from now on, we would still have the show. Well, because I've been telling you from the beginning, and you're like, no, we need these guests. And I'm like, okay, that's
I love
fine.
it when she does that invitation.
No, I didn't sound like that. All right.
That's how it sounds
Totally
when it
sounds just
comes
like
out,
that.
babe.
Yep, there's
There
Aaron.
it is.
You
There's
never
Aaron.
believe me, and then everybody else is telling you, and now you believe them.
I
Fine.
was like, that's how Mel sounds.
Oh wow! I don't think we would have any listeners if you both talked the way you just imitated each other. That would be terrible.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
That's fucking funny.
I'm gonna go.
God.
I'm gonna go feel my regret. I'm gonna go pet my regret.
You should just tattoo the no regrets. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Me and Mel will hook you up. Get out the ink.
Yeah,
Right?
I got
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Can we do it on my face?
Oh, hell yeah, on your
Fuck
cheek.
yeah.
So I can squeeze it every now and then, your regret.
Squeeze my.
We post our own.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that we were going there today, but hey, it is what it is. I hope that you all felt that, and yeah, I don't know what else.
You
to say.
do not have to dig up your own regrets. You can just listen to ours,
Yeah.
and like that's it.
If you're
You
having
do
a
not,
good day, just continue having a good
don't
day.
be poking around your happy life and bringing up some dumbass shit from years
some
past.
shit's left better.
Don't do it. But if you feel like you need to and you want some support from us, reach out, because you know what? We have all felt some stupid ass shit that we've done in the past that we wish we could take back, and that's it. We're all in human family like that. Like we have that in common. So if you do go digging around your regrets and you need a little support because you feel bad or sad about it, reach out to us this
You go
week.
digging around the graveyard and you come out with a skeleton.
Otherwise, leave that shit alone and listen to ours, and
listen
that's
to
the end
what
of
Darwin
it.
said. Darwin just said it. He was like, "Let sleeping dogs lie."
Yeah,
man."
he did.
You did. You know, that brings up a thing for the end of the show. Talking about side roads and interviews and Patreon and having you all sign up on Patreon and all that stuff. I want to pose a question to the No Simple Road community, Chandonators and otherwise. Would you all be down to hear a side road episode with an interview with Darwin?
Oh my gosh.
Because we were thinking of making that happen.
We've tossed it around because we all do Darwin's voice.
Darwin has seen everything.
He has seen everything.
He's got things to say.
Yes, he does.
And also,
So,
Darwin is a spiritual giant.
yeah.
If y'all didn't know, I just want you to know that he has been sat through ceremony and many trips with us, and he's a Anubis.
Yeah. Except
he
Anubis is a cat, but
Well, just
or a
that
jackal.
figurehead,
He is,
you know what I
he is
mean?
our
Like,
protector.
So yeah, just wondering how you all would feel about listening to an interview of Darwin on Side Roads.
you might not be able to tolerate it, but
This is
it
where
would
we
be
find
hilarious.
out how many cats listen to the show. They'll
That's
be like,
true.
fuck Darwin.
All right, so we will be back on Friday with a new interview. I'm not going to try and look it up right now. We have to discuss it.
Yeah,
Oh, we
yeah.
do have to
There's
discuss it, yeah. Because it still says March and we're in April.
Yeah, it's April and it's the whole thing.
It
Also,
snowed today, and it's April. Oh,
I have one last little bit of news, and I'm going to speak about this again, but the fish shows in Seattle are coming up. They are the 14th and 15th. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Of
Friday
April,
and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. We are going to be there. If you are a listener of the show and you are going to be at the show, stay tuned for more news. We are going to take a No Simple Road family picture in front of Climate Pledge Arena on Friday before the show. And I will, we'll figure out a time and a place and all that stuff. But just stay tuned. I just want to let you all know that that's coming so you can
We'd love
prepare
to
yourselves.
gather.
Yeah. And we'll be back on Friday with another episode. And until then, you can pet your regret and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Smile at a stranger and safety third. Hydrate. And
Take yourself out to ice cream.
look, ice cream is probably one of the coolest things on the planet besides it being cold. It
Okay.
is-
Oh, wait. All right.
What?
Ice cream or chocolate?
I can't pick.
Aaron, you got to pick
I
now.
can't.
Ice cream or chocolate?
chocolate ice
Ice cream.
Okay.
Oh.
Apple? Apple? Ice cream or chocolate?
Ice cream.
Chocolate.
Really?
Which one
Wow.
would I keep? Which one would I give up?
No, not give up. Just like in a pinch right now.
Oh.
Which one? You already said it. You already said it.
Okay.
You said
I thought you meant
chocolate.
like if I had to give one up.
I never said anything about giving anything up. I said
That's just crazy talk.
Well, somebody asked me that, and I was like, I don't even barely like chocolate, and I'm not crazy about ice cream.
Okay, so there you have it. Go get yourself some ice cream, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next week. We love you guys. Peace.
I twist and turn the mission, turn and it's a journey. Wish the word has many problems, but it's a burden. Felonies has been deferred, and hell of me has been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a new born. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? No simple road. 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 My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Hey, this is Steve Choi, host of the Musicians Guild podcast, part of the Sound Talent Media podcast network. Within the four walls of the Musicians Guild, we'll be discussing the habits, idiosyncrasies, experiences, and general psychology of my friends and peers, all involved with music in various capacities. Listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com.